Hello and welcome back everybody. This is the Wombat, and the Wombat is going to take you through a regular little series here around the new ship simulator called Nautic XP. I will be basically doing updates. I'll do update feeds. Every now and then there will be a few updates that will pop out from the Nautic team, including updates for testers, which I am one of. So you guys can all keep in the loop, instead of jumping over and checking every single update that they put out, you can jump on and listen to the video and watch the video. So make sure you subscribe and put the notification on, because that will help you get updates. So in the latest update they've just put out, and remember, all this can change because it is a very early testing versions, and they're basically putting things in and out to check where everything's at. So a couple of things have changed. Here we go. So character movement has been added to a couple of ships or boats. Pilots, the pilot boat now has a movable captain. Same with the pilot. So the pilot boat and the rescue cruiser. Sorry, I think I said the pilot boat, but the rescue cruiser and pilot boat both can have movable captains on board now, and so you can move around the decks and onto the decks. Not fully implemented yet, but that has started, which is really cool. Next we have dynamic harbour environments. I'm going to show you all this as well. So, and then we have so we've got container cranes, cruise ship terminal, and bulk loader. So every time you load in individual ships, load the preferred loading mechanism for those ships. Then the bulk carrier now has its own loading animation where it didn't used to. The cargo destination system, so we're going to show you that off right now in a minute, or actually in a couple of seconds. I'll keep going through. You can also select the destination you want to go, not just random missions where you'll ask basically on your radio, you'll call the example assassins here, we'll call them, and we can basically request a cargo on random where they'll just send back a random mission for us. But now we can do this. We can click this. We can click Sassnids. We can go and request a cargo mission, and the mission screen comes up. This is a cool feature, because it means that you can pretty much manually explore all the destinations. And as you can see the map on the right, you can either manually click or you can obviously look, and it actually gives you a bit of an idea of how easy or hard. Now this is all a work in progress, so bear with me, and the whole UI is about to change as well. That's a new update as well. The UI is going to change. So we can basically come down here and we can basically say, okay, we're going to go, where do we want to go? Don't know if this will show on the map. Yep, it does. New off, we can go here. We're going to get 60 XP. It's easy. And cargo container, offshore anchor. So let's do this. Let's click this, select this.
This is offshore vessel, deep water. Do you have some cargo to transport?
Deep water, Sassnids. We have a cargo container to be delivered.
Beautiful. So obviously we will then, let's go into my Zumo. So we'll then come over here and dock in over here, and the crane will load up a container. So look at that. The containers, it used to be just a stack on top of a pallet. Now it's actually a container, which we'll be able to load in, which I'll flip over to now. Okay, so here we are. We are docked, and you'll see the cargo load jump on. So that's quite new. That's a new feature. As I said, it used to be just a pallet. Now it's actually a real cargo. So it's a container, which is really cool, as you can see. Of course, you could turn the symbols off if you don't want the symbols. There you go. So that's one new feature in the latest update, which is super cool. How good does that look at? Look, it's amazing. Okay, let's go check out the other features of the different loading. Now you can already see the crane here, so I'll show you this one here. So this used to be automated, always was automated, but now it actually, I think it's unloading. It actually physically shows containers unloading, where it didn't used to do this. I'm pretty sure it didn't anyway. So that is a new feature as well. And the same vice versa, if you're loading up the container ship, it will load those containers onto the ship. Now, I believe the same feature that they do on these smaller ships with the containers, where you can go into here, we can go into here, we'll abort that
Sausnet,
task.
this is offshore vessel Deepwater. We have to abort the cargo transport.
Deepwater. That is understood. All related tasks are cancelled.
The one where we can request these missions here will slowly be also put into these bigger ships, so the big container ship, not just the smaller ships such as this for transport of small loads of cargo. You will be able to do some larger cargo runs as well to your own destination. Okay, at the moment you can pretty much only take this out of port and then your mission's finished, but not actually deliver it anywhere. That is coming. So let's go show you the other new features. Let me go load that up now. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so dynamically with the cruise ship here, we can now see that dynamically the cargo loading systems for whatever it is, if it's hard goods such as containers or raw materials, we've actually got a passenger terminal. So this again was not here. This is part of the latest update. So the passenger terminal will now spawn if you spawn in the passenger ship, which is again super, super cool. So other than the model, but I'm sure they will add more things like passengers and so forth as the development continues. But it's another beautiful feature. Any port that you spawn at that can take the passenger ship, this will now spawn in, rather than having a cargo loading or a container loading platform. You will have something that is actually for the ship that you spawned in. So that's super cool as well. Again, how good does this look for such an early development ship sim? Okay, the bulk carrier ship. So, always been in the sim. It's one of the older ships or original ships. But the loading mechanism, they've now got the loading platform for bulk carriers, which is super, super cool as well. And it is animated, which we'll show you again. So we've got another bulk carrier over here, which doesn't have an animation loader for it, but that's okay. We do. So whenever you spawn in with this ship, you will spawn at a port, and it will have the correct loading. So if we jump onto the bridge, that's good, good bridge. There we go. We will then jump into a loading. So we will just throw in a load here. Got to make sure you dock before you load as well. On our HUD, it will tell us down the bottom here that we are loaded. If we start loading in, you'll see in front of us right now that it's now loading. Not fully finished, but again, remember it's early, so it actually will animate and load. You obviously don't see anything coming through yet. Again, it's just a new model, animated model that's been added in the recent update. Remember, again, it's very, 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 very early in the development cycle of Nautic XP. Again, ship looks absolutely stunning. And there we go. So again, the immersion is getting more and more and more with the sim, which is fantastic. And that'll keep loading. And if we jump back into here, we should see it loaded. So there you go. That's always been it.